Hi everybody, it is Michelle with Garden Jargon and welcome to Ginger Creek Community Church. I am out here today. It is September 6th. It is, Labor Day. Why do we always mix those up? I don't know. Labor Day weekend today, Labor Day Monday. I am out here today because I want to put down some silage tarps. And if you are not familiar with what silage tarps are, they are just basically 6 mil plastic, black, and if you put them down on top of grass, it smothers out the grass and all the weeds that are under that tarp, and it kills it. So we have a couple more weeks of some pretty decent heat. And if we can get this tarp down on this grass behind me where we're going to have our future garden for 2022, it will kill off all that weed seed and all that grass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down the silage tarp today, because we're going to do a no-dig method in this garden this next season. And I'm going to go ahead and start preparing this ground. Now what I'll do is I'll put down the silage tarp, but then we also have community service workers that come here and work during the week, and we do have some kind of like bush hog whacker, like weed whacker or something. And if there's a way that we can drop the blade on that and scalp this grass, it would even be better. We just don't want to do a tilling method where we use a rototiller, because that will wake up weeds underneath the surface of the grass and it will tell them to wake up and come out of the ground, and we do not want that. Now the first set in our garden that we had last year, 2 years ago, my apologies, we tilled it and then we laid landscaping fabric down on top of it. Then we had our rows of vegetables, and then we put mulch in between the rows where we can walk, so we didn't have to walk on that hot tarp. And that tarp basically choked out any weeds that we woke up from tilling. And then at the end of the season, we ripped off the landscaping fabric and dropped the chips where they laid. And in that portion of the garden, guys, there's no weeds anymore. Even though we heavily mulch in our walkways, there's no weeds. We killed them out. It's been 2 seasons now and nothing is waking up over there, so that's great. This portion of the garden, the second year that we did the garden, we got to extend it again. What we did there was we scalped the grass, like literally with shovels, scalped off all the grass, composted that in the back field, laid a whole layer of cardboard down, and then built boxes on top of the cardboard, filled the boxes with composted manure, and put wood chips in the walkway around that. So that is over there, but we did not put a thick enough layer of wood chips, so we're getting a lot of weed pressure in between these walkways, which is fine. We're just going to smother them out with another layer of wood chips. Like, we have no problem doing that. Hi, Bee. So this year, to prepare this garden for next season, 2022, we're going to go ahead and kill this off with some silage tarp. And then we're going to layer it with cardboard, layer it with manure, and layer it with wood chips. So that's what we're planning on doing. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and put the silage tarp down, and I wanted to have you watch it. That's all. Have a great day. All right, here we go. I forgot the scissors. Okay. Pruners are going to have to do it today. But this is the plastic I'm using. I bought it at Home Depot. I don't remember the cost of it. I think it may have been around 70 or 80 bucks. But I've had this roll for several years because I've never used it to this extreme like that. And I have more in here. I'm going to unroll it and fill out the rest of my garden. Like, I have 5 feet over there on that side and about 5 feet on the end over here that I want to still cover. So I'm going to use one of these, a little bit of this roll, because this roll is 10 feet wide and 1,000 feet long. So however many feet long it is. So be right back. Go lay down. Go lay down, go night-night. I'm not sure if I showed you these, but these are landscaping staples. I buy all of mine on Amazon because they sell them in huge quantity packets for cheaper than if you can just buy them at a big box store or something, because they don't really tend to gardeners there. So I'm going to pop some of these in the ground, and heed warning, cutting that plastic, just running my knuckles along the black plastic with those little snippers, it tears pretty easy if you have a sharp scissor thing. But I will tell you right now, it is hot. So I would advise to do this in the shade, or I would advise to do it when the sun is not in the sky, because that is extremely hot. Today is only about 80 degrees, which is beautiful weather, and I'm grateful that we are having such mild weather. But that is hot. And I have a thermometer that I'll bring out here in the next couple weeks and throw it underneath there so we can really see what the temp is underneath that plastic. And I have a thermometer that I'll put on the top. Now, we're in Chicago, Grow Zone 5B, and we're going to be like in the 80s pretty much through to October. Last year when I moved into my house here in Batavia, Illinois, I moved in on October 1st, and the whole first 3 weeks of October were in the 70s in October here in Chicago. So that was kind of startling. So I hammered out my Wilson Street garden. You can actually check that out in the playlist that I have here on my channel, because I did do some silage tarp to try to kill off the weed before I did the scalping of the grass and the cardboard layer and the box building and the manure inside the boxes. I tried to do that, but it wasn't getting hot enough by the time I laid that black plastic down. So now that we're still in September, for beginning part of September, I'm hoping to get at least 3 weeks of some pretty good heat to kill off this weed seed. So I just want to put some of these staples in the ground now and secure it, because we're going to have some windy storms tomorrow, and I don't want my plastic blown away. My dog Molly, she's not so smart. She comes out there and burns her little pads on her feet. All right, all finished. So some things I would suggest when you're doing something like this is to make sure that if you can do it when the ground is softer, it's easier to get the staples in the ground. Also, wear sturdier shoes. Crocs are not fitting for shoving those staples into the ground, especially when the ground is hard. Hurt my feet. The overlay to which I overlap the plastic is about 4 to 6 inches. The whole key is to make sure that light cannot get in. If light can get in, the weeds will find their way to the light. So getting as many staples around as possible, getting the overlay done as good as possible is great. I did not get really close to the edge of the garden bed over here. We're gonna heavily mulch that anyway. I might even extend that bed and put another 6 inches on that bed and then put more manure in there. So we're gonna choke out the weeds regardless what I put in here, right along this existing bed to the new bed. So I'm not too worried about that. And what else? Oh, and I use a, I always carry it in this basket. Let me see if I have one in here. I do. This is a tent stake. So just to hold down a tent. Cheapo ones. This I think came with my greenhouse. I use this to yank the staples out of the ground because it's hard to get them out of the ground sometimes. So if you just hook them with this and yank them, you can get them out of the ground really easy. So that's my tips and tricks for today. That's all the tricks I got for you. So that is silage tarp. Today is September 5th or 6th? Labor Day. I don't even know what date it is. So I just wanted you to see this, how we're doing this, and then I'm going to do another follow-up video in about a week. And I'll also clip in the temperature gauge on what the temperature is underneath that tarp, and I'll tell you it is toasty. When I lift up the tarp to drop it back down to put a new staple in, just that heat that I'm pumping out when I lay that tarp back down is hot. So I just want you to know, be very careful. Don't let your dogs walk on that. Their little pads on their feet are going to melt off. But thanks for watching today, guys. That's the beauty of having several gardens. I have a garden at my house, I have Batavia Community Garden, and then I have Ginger Creek Garden. And it's awesome because I get to try so many different methods and ways here in the Chicago Midwest area in Grow Zone 5B that I get to share with you guys so that you can do some research and try to learn as well. And I did not invent these methods. I found these all on YouTube when I self-taught myself how to do gardening. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, if you do, like and share the video. That's the best way to support my channel. I really do appreciate it, and I love helping to educate people with knowledge that I have. I want to share it with you. So take care, guys, and God bless.